Who accepts the flight request? Where are we going? How long are we going to stay there? Where are we going after that? Who initiates, conducts, or terminates the flight? Any one of those things. Who employs the pilots? Do the pilots work only for this one person and only fly this aircraft? Or do they have a W-2 job here, but do a bunch of independent contractor work? Are they completely independent contractors for different owners? Do they fly different airplanes? A lot of that goes into it. Who maintains the aircraft? Where is it maintained? Who's calling the shots on whether to replace that tire or not replace it, or to make sure this inspection's done timely? Who makes sure, this is what the FAA's looked for, is who's making sure that the flight plan, the aircraft, and the crew comply or are compliant with FAA regulations? Who's got that responsibility? They decide who pays for the maintenance when the maintenance is done. They look at who determines the weather and the fuel requirements for the flight, the weight and balance. Who pays for the fuel? Who pays the landing fees? Who pays for the hangar when it's at home? Who pays for the hangar when the plane's on the road? Who paid for the catering? Who paid for the expenses of the crew? The FAA will look at all this. They'll look at, was there a holding out by anyone, the pilot, the owner, a third party, to say, hey, if you want to go fly, this plane's available. You can, sometimes they'll even say charter when they shouldn't be saying charter. And that, if the FAA can get that on record, then that really hurts you. But that's a long answer to a short question, but it illustrates the point that operational control has a lot of factors, a lot of variables, and any one of them can sink your ship.
Yeah. No, I mean, it is very complex, and there's so many things in there that we could probably do a whole show about. But one of those, again, kind of targeting this at commercial pilots, is if you look at those kind of 7 questions, and that's the advisory circular I bring up all the time, even though we're not always talking about dry lease operations, this might just be a wholly owned aircraft by a business owner, and they're hiring you to fly their airplane. They would still have to answer all of those questions to affirmative to verify that they're actually in operational control.